These my dance make it hurt.
Hello and welcome to Project Passion, the podcast made to inspire you to follow your passion, turn it into successful business or career. If you're new here, guys, quickly, and you're enjoying the podcast, we actually release all of the video podcasts on YouTube as well. We also have started releasing clips from the different episodes as well, just so you can shorten it down and catch little bits at a time. Of course, if you can, hit like, hit subscribe. It really does actually help me out. It lets me know what content you guys are actually enjoying and if you could bring back on and what industries you're enjoying to hear. But yeah, anyway, on with the show, because honestly, I'm a little bit too excited about this one. This week, all the way from Australia, I have Tighe on the show. How's it going, man?
How are you, man? You're good?
I'm good. Thanks for coming on, by the way.
All good, all good.
Obviously, a lot of the listeners are going to know who you are and you're going to need no introduction. But for anyone that maybe is hearing your name for the first time, don't just quickly take it away and introduce yourself for them.
Yeah, for sure, man. I musician, drummer, just been pretty much writing songs during quarantine. I'm in a band called Three. We're pretty new. We've been around for about, I guess like a year and a half now. And we're a two-piece band. Some viewers, listeners might know me from the Faim from before. In that band, I've been in so many bands. Like even before that, I was in like 10 bands. Kicking it off, and we've just been writing a lot. We've dropped a couple of songs in the past, maybe a couple of months ago. I've lost track of time now. But so there you go.
Said, obviously, music is your passion, drumming's your passion.
That's it, brother.
When did you start getting into that and thinking about it as a career?
Yeah, it wasn't until, I started drums when I was 10 years old, I think, 10 or 11. And I've been playing drums ever since, 24 now. So I started getting serious when I was probably around 17, 16, yeah. I think, or maybe 15. And it was actually, I was in a cover band for a while. And then we started to do some originals, and we were called Amber Down at the time. And we weren't taking it seriously. It was just a bit of fun, and these guys were nearly 30 years old, and I was 17 or something like that. And I remember just going there just for fun, and they were like, man, you're so tight on the drums. You should think about, doing it seriously, or just keep on, working on it. So ever since then, I just started to really get into drumming. And then I looked at my idols, such as Travis from Blink, Travis Barker, and then all the drummers that are sort of really, when they play, it's a lot of the energy goes behind the kit rather than technical, because you got your technical drummers, you got your jazz drummers, you got this. But there's something eye-grabbing about when I go to a show and I see a drummer really rocking out, and with energy. And I always, who else was it? Aaron Gillespie, I saw play with Paramore at the time. He must have filled in or something, because I don't know what happened there with the drummer thing. But watching him play was just amazing, and I've been inspired by those sort of drummers. So I took it seriously when I was probably around 17, I think, because then I got lucky enough to actually play support Motley Crue, which was just off the cuff, lucky, because it was basically they came to Australia for a tour, but they did this thing where if whatever band gets the most votes in the suburb or the city that you're in gets to be the support, So we got the most votes in Perth at the time. So we got to play. Yeah, and I was playing Perth Arena. That was my first ever arena show at around 18. Yeah. And when I played that show, yeah, it was, and met those guys, I was I just want to do this for the rest of my life, even if, it takes ages or whatever, just to experience it, no matter. Yeah. So I just stuck to it, man. And opportunities came. And
that's it. So obviously, when did you sign? Because obviously, where I would know you from to start off would have been Small Town Heroes before the Faim.
That's right, yeah.
First band that you were properly signed with and recording, releasing music? That
was the first signing, yeah. So when I was in that Amber Down band, they sort of split up and all that, and I didn't really want to do it anymore. Bass player left and stuff. And then after that, I got in touch with these guys that were sort of in the hills way in Perth, really just liked the vibe and connected on a level that was great, back then. it's sort of, I'll skip later, like later on, it gets a bit messy, but but back at the beginning, it was great. Like, you know, so we're just like really fairly new, and I really wanted to go to LA pretty much and live the dream. So we're thinking of opportunities and how to do it. And we started just writing songs. And I thought Josh at the time in that band had a good voice. And I was like, wow, this guy, we could really go somewhere. So I was pushing and pushing, you know, emails left, right, and center. Just still doing that, like do that every week. And basically, yeah, it just kicked off from there. We got our first deal from BMG, which was in America when we flew. But it was before that, we sort of like we sent songs to this producer, John Feldman, for a while. You know, it was like he was constantly just saying, you need to keep writing, you need to keep writing, just pushing us, you know. And it was the first ever for me talking to a producer like at that level. It was the first time talking to someone like that. So it was interesting, you know. It was very challenging for me and the rest of the guys. And we just kept doing it. And then so flew out to LA, got our first deal, and then had all these songs written. It was actually the most insane thing because this producer, John Feldman, knows all these people. So then when he brought all these people that we idolized in, so we had no idea. We rock up on the day. It's like, oh, here's, you know, Pete Wentz, Fall Out Boy. Here's this. It's like, it was crazy. So that was like an experience I'll never forget. You know, it was like insane riding with those guys. And it was all, yeah, what happened after that? So basically we started touring for a while. We were doing that for ages. It was fun. It was this. And then towards the end, there was just it was like an issue with the creative process with basically a falling out, personality clash, typical relationship thing that you would probably have with, you know, if you're, you know, relationships end, or they don't end. It's like, you know, that's just what it is. That's what life is. So we just had a little bit of a clash and thought, you know, I think I'll be better off doing my own thing, or, you know, doing something with someone else or working with someone. And that's how I met Mitch now, and I've just, you know, built this other sort of fandom. But it's like, it's crazy when you look at it, when I look back, because I think of all the experiences, all the memories, it's all amazing, you know. So, but unfortunately, yeah, there's a little personality clash.
Pull you back a little bit quickly. Obviously, you were Small Town Heroes, and then you became the Faim. What was that swap? Why was
What was the swap? Yeah. So basically, we were really loving that name, Small Town Heroes. You know, we stuck with, and it was like more of a punk sort of vibe. You know, it was like that sort of angst punk. And basically, I think it was John Feldman or someone in that group. They wanted us to change it for whatever reason. I think John was just like, we need sort of more of a universal sort of sound for a name or something like that. I can't remember. I don't know if it was John. I can't remember who it was, but we ended up just like all agreeing, and we came up with that name, the Faim. Yeah. So that's how that started. Yeah.
Yeah, because you obviously at Small Town Heroes, you had Set Free in 2015, the album, and then you had
Oh God, that's a throwback and a half. Jeez.
which I love the Get Up Get Out EP.
Oh, the
Still,
Get Out, yeah, that was before the label. Yeah, before the label signing.
17, there's nothing from you guys, and in 2018, Saints of the Sinners drops out of nowhere.
That's right.
17, was that when you were having a brand swap and then like obviously getting signed and stuff like that there again?
Yeah, it was when, I think that, yeah, you've got it right. That was at the time of the signing, yeah, and stuff like that, and getting serious with it. You know, we didn't really have a team with us. It was mainly just, you know, we had a guitar tech, a manager, and it was just us, and we were doing all the rounds. I think you saw us, setting up all the gear and at the show.
I was actually going to touch on this because a couple of people I told beforehand that you were coming on were just more confused how I knew you in the first place. So just
Yeah.
to clear that up for anyone else that's going to be concerned and try and message me, the Faim, right? You came to Swansea. You were opening for Lord and Atlantis in Sin City, and I don't know if it was. I think it was like it was your first tour of the UK. I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure it might have been one of the first gigs on the tour or something along.
I think you have that right. Yeah, it would have been. Yeah.
Basically, you came in, and me and my girlfriend bought the tickets. She couldn't come, so I came with my friend. but we had like heard you were opening, so we were like, all right, listen to your music. And then
That's sick. I remember you, man. I remember.
yeah, and then like shameless self-promotion, I gave like Josh one of the stickers for my clothing brand, and
That's
he
right.
took it over. And then at the end, I wanted to say thank you to him. And Mitch, was it Mitch, was always with you guys?
Yes, yeah, the guitar tech, yes. Yeah.
But I was like, oh, can you go tell him thank you? And he was like, mate, he's like, they'll be here in 5 minutes. He's like, they sell their own merch. And I was like, all right, cool. And then we met you guys, and then we ended up going to Jack Murphy's in Swansea after that there.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
and I actually, I remember nothing after we got to there, but I remembered going to there because there's a photograph, which I'll slap over this right now. But I remember that, and that's nothing else. I don't even remember saying goodbye to you at the end of the night.
Yeah, I can't, it's all a blur. I think we got really drunk or something.
I just remember your hands were bleeding all over your t-shirt.
Oh man, yeah. I remember like that show, but I was going at it. Yeah, I was going crazy. Yeah, so there was a lot of blood, a lot of tears.
So obviously moving on, starting 3. When I looked online, did you literally just Instagram message Mitch Vulcan and then
Yeah, so that's what. So after that, sort of falling out, I guess. So like I basically just went back to Perth, and I was just, yeah, just not really doing anything. It was kind of relaxing in a way, therapeutic, because I went from all this like mayhem, and then it was like a nice sort of just like, you know, sit back, sort of like, oh, needed that, and then got a message. It was like the best timing, and he just like it. I don't know, like he just sent me a link and I listened to it, and I was thinking at first, I was like, you know, because I do get quite a lot of messages from people, and I give back feedback and stuff like that. But there was something really unique with his voice. You know, it was kind of like, it was like a punk vibe to his voice, but it's very sort of modern. I don't know how to explain it. It was like, you know, that I could do something with it. So he started sending me demos. And I was like, you know what, I could probably work with this. And I actually flew myself from Perth to Sydney, which was crazy. It was a spontaneous decision. I was just like, you know what, stuff it, I'm just going to do it. So I flew myself over, and he had his mate there, Joel. So we were originally at the very, very Kickstarter of it. Like when we started the band, it was 3 people. And that's how we came up with the name 3, you know. And basically Joel, he didn't really want to get into it, didn't want to get serious with it. So he did his own thing, and that was fine. So we were a 2-piece, and we've been a 2-piece for a while now. And we were thinking about changing the name, and we just thought, you know what, let's just stick with 3. And the third person, I guess, the third could just be the audience. So like the listeners, basically. They're the third member of the band, which is kind of cool.
that works as well. And because it is confusing, because there is a couple of photos where there is 3 of you in the photograph, but then there's only 2 of you, really.
That's right. Yeah, it gets confusing. People are like, what? Yeah, but that's to clarify. Yeah, that's what happened.
With COVID and everything, you guys obviously couldn't do much. What was your most recent tour you done?
Most recent tour was actually UK. It was the I can't remember what month. What month was it? I can't remember now, man. But because we've toured UK twice, so it would have been. Oh, I'm bad with dates. It was a good tour though.
Were you meant to go on tour again this year? But obviously, I assume it would have been cancelled if you were.
Yeah. So we're going to go every year, but because of COVID, unfortunately, we just can't get over there. You know, so right now for us, we're just constantly writing, just not trying to stay creative and uploading mashups and getting a hell lot of attention from these mashups and stuff, which is just kept us going. You know.
I was going to say, like your social media presence the whole way through COVID has just been hard. Like,
Unreal, yeah.
Like relentlessly, so much promotion, and like the fans, like the people are going to be listening to the list, like your fans are incredible at sharing your music and sharing all your mashups for you.
Yeah, for sure. It's incredible, man, to see that. So much love, you know. It's good.
And I know we talked about it just before we actually came on for the podcast, but obviously you have the Fake Love single that you released at the start of 2020, and you said you've been writing a lot more music, aiming to put out another album soon.
Yeah, soon. So we've got we've got just so many songs, man. It's like it's crazy the amount of songs we have. So we're trying to narrow it down to a certain amount and pick the best ones, I guess, and then just release them. Just whenever, maybe every month, every second month or whatnot. Try and keep at it. But that's the go-to right now. Yeah.
Right. Are they all just 3, or is there any that are features with anyone else?
There is. We haven't got a feature just yet, but we're planning to. Yeah. So we'll it's definitely in the works. So we'll have mainly a lot of songs, just us, and then features will come. But yeah, it's exciting. So it's cool.
Who would be your like dream feature to put on a track?
Ooh, for 3, geez, I've got so many, man.
For 3 and for your solo, Sean Tighe as well. So
That's true. Yeah, for sure. Well, you know what? I've always wanted to meet Ed Sheeran. Be an absolute insane dream to meet him. So, and we've never met him. So that would be a great feature. I'm trying to think. For 3 though, I'm just in love with 21 Pilots. You know, I just love their vibe and their style. And when I got to meet Josh and work with him in the other band, we just kicked it off. You know, it was amazing, just like the atmosphere in the room and knowing how he writes and stuff, because he's a drummer, you know, and we could sort of relate. And I was thinking, you know what, for a feature, we'll just get Josh in there and Tyler, you know. So imagine that. That would be the ultimate dream. 21 Pilots and 3. Who knows though? Who knows?
like you've met some pretty famous people, I would assume, along the way so far.
I have. Yeah, it's very lucky. Very lucky.
Who's like, not even like your favorite, who would be like the most famous or like the most well?
Most famous. I guess the most famous would be probably Ashton, actually. Ashton Irwin.
Yeah.
Just because their band's just blowing up, and it has been for a while. 5 Seconds of Summer, you know. So it's like working with him, we got along great. I reckon he would be the famous. Travis Barker, just because I'm obsessed with Blink, still am. So yeah, I'm trying to think. Those 2 actually were probably the most famous. Yeah.
Tour with Youngblood as well.
Yeah, I did. I've never toured with Youngblood or played with him, but I went to a show in. Yeah, that's right, in California. It was, and yeah, it was just great just to see his energy. It was the first time I actually got to get into his music, and I was like, wow, okay, this is something unique, you know. And then after he played the show, he came down, got photos with people. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to go in and get a photo. So we had a little bit of a chit chat. He was like, oh, nice shirt, man. I think I was wearing an INXS shirt. And I don't know, just liked that band. So he was like, dude, sick shirt. So, yeah, so I like Youngblood. I like his music. I like his vibe. It's awesome.
That's all. Did he know who you were when you went up to him? Or did you have to like tell him?
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think he would have, no. But no? he was happy though.
So obviously, like you said at the start, like your drumming style is very eccentric, like very crazy. Just fuck, I don't know what else to say about it. Like it's just
thanks, man. Yeah, it's very just sort of yeah.
So is that sort of how you've always drummed, or do you change it up?
Yeah, I have actually. Yeah, I think at the beginning it was more technical. I would watch drummers like Luke Holland and stuff like that who inspired me on YouTube. And then I started to get into the whole, the energy factor behind the kit, you know, where they're given so much emotion, which is, you know, from the Josh Dunn's, Travis Barker's, Aaron Gillespie, I'm trying to list, Adam Willard from Angels and Airwaves is one of them, you know. Those type of drummers just stood out to me. So I've just stuck to that sort of vibe of drumming where it's just giving it your all every song. Like, yeah. What's
your favorite song to perform then on stage live?
Currently now, it's right now, probably, I've got so many, man. It's crazy. Yeah. Oh, do you mean like in the world? Like it doesn't have to be like in the band?
No, it can be any song.
Oh man, God, so many. You know what I like playing now? I've been playing a lot. I got an electric drum kit at home because of COVID and stuff. My real kit's in the shed, and it's like, you know. But when I bash away on the electric, I've been playing Faint, Linkin Park. which is just a classic, bro. Like, just go off on that. So I might actually do a cover of that soon.
Mashup.
Or a mashup. Yeah, get Mitch to do the vocals. That went well, that one. We did a mashup of Linkin Park and Nirvana.
Anna.
Just went crazy. I was like looking at the promotion, just going, what the hell?
Your Machine Gun Kelly mashup was fire as well.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Yeah, we decided to do that because I'm a massive fan of his music. And he then saw it and liked it, commented, and then DM'd me, which was just out of the, yeah, I was shocked.
What did he say?
He said, this is hard. I was like, oh, thanks, man. Like, you know, massive fan. So that was cool.
That's crazy. What? So I'm assuming you get obviously like fans messaging you quite a lot as well. Like, but do you ever get like famous people messaging you or like commenting on your things that kind of like takes you by surprise?
Yeah, for sure. Like that was one of them actually. Like, you know, him commenting, I was like, no way, he's got the verified, and I'm going, what? There was like, I'm trying to think of others actually. I've got famous, it's not that word famous. So, Sleeping with Sirens, Kellen.
Okay.
He keeps in touch, his following. So he commented ages ago, and there's just so many people, man, like that come in now and then. It's just random. It's like a random thing. You know, you do a mashup or you do something to their song and then they acknowledge it. And I think it's quite nice, you know, people acknowledging. Because I do the same, you know, if someone did a cover of me, I just chuck that up on my story. I'm just like, look at this, like, you know. So, yeah.
On that point, it's impossible to learn any of your songs because I can't find the chords.
We need to get some. We need to get some chords.
Someone put them on.
We need that. I'll get in touch with Mitch. Don't worry. I'll get him to chuck it up.
I can definitely learn how to play like one of the fucking no chords anywhere.
Yeah, bro, that'd be sick.
So obviously you're very well skilled. I don't know, is there a scale or a range for drumming, like qualification wise? Does it work?
I don't know. Like, I've just been doing my own thing, you know. But it's actually from watching drummers. So it's not from learning actual music or you know, sitting down with a teacher, perhaps, that some people like to do. I haven't done that at all. Like I did that when I was at the very start, at the age of like 10, for only like 2 months or 3. And then since then, I just started to watch drummers. And then I picked up things that they're, you know, the skill was just like I could just pick it up. I've got a good ear, you know. So I go off if someone plays me a song once, I'll be able to just remember that whole thing and just be able to play it. It's crazy. So it's like more like, you know, by ear than, I don't know. That's just how it is.
So what's the best advice someone's ever given you for the music industry?
Best advice, man, was actually Shawn Mendes, and I bumped into him at the Roxy Theatre in LA. Everything happens in America. I need to get myself back over to America. But it was just random. It was we're actually meeting Ashton from Five Sis at the Roxy, and in comes, I think it was just before he arrived, this guy comes in, and I'm like, that looks just like Shawn Mendes. Like, and he had no one with him. I think he was just with his mate, and it's very dark sort of vibe in the club, so you can't really see, you know, and people didn't really pick up on it. And I was like, you know, I'm kind of good with faces. I was like, no, that's definitely him. So I went over and I was like, Shawn, is it Shawn Mendes? And he turns around and he's like, yeah, man, that's me. And I was like, whoa. And I started to, like, you know, fangirl a little bit. And I started to just say how much I was inspired by his journey, his music. And we started having a good chat. We had a few drinks, and then he was just like, I've got a photo somewhere on my Insta. And then I just had to get a photo, you know. I was just like, you know, typical fangirl right there. And basically he said to me, the best advice, he was just like, always stay in your lane and just do your own thing and write stuff that comes from the heart, and just constantly just keep on writing, no matter what. Just don't stop. Even if you think it's your best song ever, just keep on writing. And that was the best advice I've ever got, I think, because I've just stuck in that mindset ever since he said that, and just been constantly just, you know, doing that.
So if someone was getting into drumming and think about it, because obviously it's a bit different, I'd say, to being a singer where you're just based on your voice. How does someone that's solely a drummer go about finding a band, getting signed? What would you sort of tell someone would be the process to do that?
Process would be constantly uploading stuff, whether it's a cover or just you drumming out and constantly reaching out. I feel like the more people you know, the better. So it's like constantly just engaging with people, you know, messaging, getting yourself out there. If you want to take it seriously as a drummer, you know, it's like get a YouTube channel, start pumping up covers, because that's actually what I did at the beginning. Before all my bands that I've been in, it was actually they saw me through YouTube, because I started off on YouTube. I was just uploading covers, and people saw that, and then that's how it sort of kicked off. So I would say to anybody just starting out, if you're drumming, just keep on practicing your rudiments. Just, you know, constantly watching people that you enjoy to watch as a drummer, and just learning from them. Because I've sort of just done that from different types of drummers, incorporated it into one, and sort of that's how I play now. You know, it's like I just sort of like are inspired by so many people, so I play like that.
And obviously, aside from three, you have your solo work as well. Is that something you're still doing or on hold?
At the moment, it's kind of just on hold. It's just like we've just been writing so much for three, you know, and we'll probably get so much more stuff out with Mitch, and maybe later in the next couple of months, I might start releasing side projects and singles and stuff like that. But mainly it's just three. Yeah,
because you can sing as well, obviously. And
thanks, bro. I'll try.
I said that like you shouldn't be able to sing, but you can sing.
No, I try. Thank you.
You can play guitar, can't you? I'm pretty sure.
A little bit, man. I'm not the best. It's like I can play a little bit, but I'm not great.
Sit down and ask all these musical people, you know, like to teach you how to play guitar.
Yeah, I know. Well, like there's heaps of drummers that can play guitar that I know. Like Ashton's one of them. Ashton plays guitar as well. I should have got him to, like, you know, teach me at the time. Yeah, but I need to learn, to be honest.
Instruments you can play?
I can play piano a little bit, but I don't know. I can't read music. You know, I can't like read sheets where it's just like more just by ear. What else? That's kind of it, man. It's just drumming's my forte. Yeah.
So, obviously, you guys have plans coming up aside from your music. When you go to tour again, are you doing Australia, UK?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, we might do an Australian tour actually soon. It's just this COVID, man. It's just heartbreaking that it's dragging out this long, you know, for musicians and everybody that are in the creative sort of arts, you know. Yeah. So hopefully soon, man, if they get that vaccine or it starts to die down, it's like that. Then we'll start planning tours. At the moment, we're not sort of planning because we can't. It's like we can't do anything about it. It's just like until COVID dies down, and then we'll start planning tours. First Australia, back to the UK, maybe go to America. And the thing is, like, we're not actually like signed at the moment. We're fully independent, which is good for us. It's like we make our own choices. We're doing our own thing. It's like it's really cool to not be, you know, this thing just being like do this, do that. You know, it's like just we're free, sort of doing our own thing. Maybe that time might come like later, you know, and we might change our mind. But at the moment, it's just like we're just doing our own thing. And yeah, we'll start planning tours when COVID dies.
That's good though. So in terms of like a team at the minute, so it's obviously you and Mitch, and do you have like a PR team, a management team?
We don't actually, no PR, no team, no manager either. So we're still searching for just a really decent manager that's genuine. You know, it's so hard to find someone that's just like that doesn't want to be greedy, doesn't want to take the money, doesn't want to sort of manipulate you in a way where you're just doing stuff for them. You know, it's like, and there's so many out there that is like that, unfortunately. So we're just doing our own thing, and you know, you never know. Someone might come around soon. So
what's your work process like then, without that, in terms of studio to record, mix, master? How do you do your process there?
At the moment, Mitch is he's got such a talent behind the computer, because he's producing actually the tracks as well and mixing them. So he's got his own studio in Sydney that we start recording the songs. At the moment, because I'm in Perth and he's in Sydney, we're just FaceTiming and we just work off that. So I send him the drum tracks, or, you know, he tells me, you know, blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of just like this online thing at the moment. But when I'm there, it's, he's got his own studio, and we start writing in the studio. We get it on the computer, we do it all, we produce it, we mix it, we master it. And then after that, we might get in touch with people in America that might just polish it off, you know, with the vocal engineering or something. And just to see what different people can sort of do to the tracks, as well as what we can do, you know, and just get the sort of a balance and see which is good and which is not, and trying to get the best out of it, the best sound. And that's what we've been doing for the past couple of weeks. Yeah.
From an independent point of view, then, how do you finance things such as tours? And obviously, if without a manager, do you hire someone in to book your tours for you, or do you just do it all yourself?
That's the thing. So it would be, income would be from tours, merch, all that stuff. At the moment, it's a struggle town only because of COVID. So it's like, it's just very hard for just all musicians right now. But when yeah, that's exactly right. So like, it would obviously be when the manager comes in, we'll get the income. It's like, it would all be from us, basically. So right now, we're lucky in a sense that we've got these, you know, we've got the studio, we've got this. Some artists don't have that, and they have to, you know, obviously chip in money to sort of do it. So it's very hard, you know. So for us, it's kind of lucky that we have this studio. The only downside for us is the fact that we don't have management, label stuff that for the promo. So when these songs go out, it's kind of just like sitting back, and we just watch all these fans just share it, and, you know, to a point where that's all we can do. Yeah. You know, because if we were with a major label right now, it would be amazing, like promo, amazing, great stuff. But the only downfall with the only thing I can think of, which is the bad thing about being with a label, a major label, is the fact that they have sort of the rights and the credits and everything to your songs sometimes, more actually majority of the time, you know. So that when these artists and everybody that look up to these people, you know, they think they're, you know, getting all the money, getting all this, is actually very, very wrong. It's the opposite. And the labels are getting all the money, and these guys are working their ass off. They've got no team, they've got no, all this, you know. And that's why it's a struggle town in this day and age for musicians in particular, and also bands, because they're not making any money, you know. And the money that's they're only making is obviously merch and their way they can do it, maybe working side projects, side this, doing that, or just working a day job or doing this. So it's very tough, man. It's tough for a lot of artists out there. So if I could say to anybody right now that's like wants to take it seriously, it's doing your own thing, trying to figure out ways that you can make money in your own time, as well as, and not relying or not thinking that major labels and or managers or people like that can help, because they can help, but not all the time. Yeah.
You have to do the work in the first place and actually grind yourself and hustle. And
you have to hustle yourself, man. You have to, yeah, exactly right.
So I assume you prefer being independent as opposed to having
yeah. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. It's so good. Yeah, it's just great. Like, you know, because me and Mitch, especially being in a 2-piece band, it's just, it works so well. Me and Mitch, we're like the same person. It's really freaky. It's like we just get each other straight away. There's no like, oh, no, this, no, that. It's just like everything's just like, yeah, it should be done this way, it should be done that. Nice. And it's great. I think if you can find someone that's like that and you're just on the same wavelength, it's just magic. So,
and obviously the internet has obviously been a large benefit for you guys, and probably for the music industry as a whole in the last sort of 5-10 years, allowing people to obviously put out their own music, put out their own tracks, actually market themselves, promote themselves, and actually build a brand around themselves without even needing to go down the route of getting managers and going into brands.
Yeah. Like down the road, like you do need that, like especially as your band grows and you start getting these fans and it gets to a point where it's like out of control and you're like, oh, what do I do? You need those people, you know. But at the moment right now, because of this COVID thing, and it's just, we're not touring, we're not doing this, so we don't actually need those people at the moment. for sure, like in the future, when we start going back on tour and doing all that stuff. But at the moment, it's just doing our own thing. Yeah, exactly right.
Awesome. So when you guys obviously go back to making new music here coming up, uh, have you got any names in mind, or have you actually in your head actually do you know what track you'd put at the top of the list, or what you'd?
Yeah, so there's a song called Holding On, which is a song that we've been working on for a while that we might actually drop soon as our next single. So we're planning on to, we've got it mixed, we got it mastered. We're chipping away, trying to find the best sound for it. So we're sending it off to like different people, getting it like, produced and whatnot, and just trying to get the best sound. But that'll be coming out soon, man. So
No. So you guys obviously have a unique sound, but it's also can vary between sort of what tracks you release. Do you have, when you go on to write a track, do you have in your head what you want that to sound like, or do you just basically sit down and write and then create the track to go with it, the beat to go with the words?
yeah. It's interesting. It was actually because the latest songs that we've written have all been done so quickly because we've sort of like tapped into this formula where it's like we sort of know how to write these songs now, which is correct. We didn't before. It sort of just like clicked, and now we're like looking at each other, going, "Oh no, this is how we do it," So yeah, because we actually took out the tour we did in the UK. Alex McMahon, he was out there. He helped us on a couple of tracks as a producer. So we brought him to this small cabin, after like we played a show, which was fun, and we started to just like click, and the formula is probably is helping in a way. It's like we just know how to do it. It's crazy.
Yeah. So obviously back in better days when you were able to go on tour, did you have any like you said, when it gets too much, was there any crazy tour moments that you kind of had to like stop and go like, wow, I'm really living like this? Like this is really my
Yeah.
life.
Oh, for sure, man. I've had loads of moments like that. There was especially, I think the latest tour actually, that the last tour of the UK. There was a show in was it Brighton? I think it was Brighton. And I don't know what it was, man. The crowd just went absolutely crazy. Like and then we chucked in a little what do you call it, Good Charlotte track as a cover, and the crowd went off. And I remember tagging Joel that night, who's the singer for Good Charlotte, and he saw it, acknowledged it, and then followed me on socials. And I was like, "That's dope." But that whole video, the crowd was just going off. That was a highlight actually. And then before that, I'm trying to think in the other bands, there's so many, man, like festivals, Reading and Leeds to, Download Fest to all this, and being side stage with people that I was like, wow, that you would never think that you would be side stage, or, it's like, it's crazy. Yeah.
So when you're on tour, that must be quite a hectic schedule for you guys as well, especially when you're trying to do
Yeah.
such close hits together. Do you get much time, or is it just go, go, go constant?
It's go, go, go. It's like you got to have a balance. You just got to be in the state of mind where it's just like, this is what it's going to be for the next 2 weeks on tour, where it's like constantly go, go. After that, you can relax, you can do this, but it is sort of like especially if it's all, every show is just a day after day after day. But if you sort of plan it out where it isn't, then it's kind of a bit of a good balance. But it's hard to do that because when people go on tour and plan tours, it kind of has to be sort of like constant, so yeah, it's like you just got to be in a mindset of just balance. Try and balance yourself. Try and eat healthy, drink healthy. Back in the old days, it was all like drinking and all this, and some bands still do, and I don't know how they do it, but it's like it gets you sometimes if you're constantly drinking. Because I'm not a big drinker. I don't drink that much, especially now. So yeah, just eat healthy, drink healthy, I guess.
I'd assume there must be bad days on tour, obviously, especially if you're on a kind of a longer tour. I mean, you played with a broken or fractured wrist at one point, and you played an
Yeah,
entire...
man, that was hectic. Yeah, whole tour. That was madness.
Bad days when you don't even want to get on the stage. I would assume just being a natural person.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like we're all human, so it's like everybody's gonna have those days where you're feeling a bit low, feeling a bit down. Obviously because of all the energy that you've given off on past shows, and then it's like hitting you, and you're like, chuck on some good songs in the car while I just cry. But it's, but no, it's interesting. Hey, it's just you got to know that it's like a roller coaster, you know, because when you get down, when you get low, or you feel tired, you feel really like, ugh, like, you know, you're obviously going to get a high, because a life can't just be a constant high all the time. Otherwise, you won't feel a high. So you got to have these lows to feel, you know. So it's just normal, I guess. So you just got to live with it, especially if you're going into that world of touring.
So I just want to quickly go back to what you said about the cover you done. How does it work with cover? Like, do you have to? You obviously don't. That's a stupid question. Get permission to play someone else's song on stage, or can you just play
For
whatever?
live? For
Yeah.
live, it's interesting, man. It's actually not. It's the opposite. You can play whatever you want live,
Okay.
which is interesting. Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, just live, you can play whatever you want. Like, you know, make it sort of your own sound. You can do whatever you want live. When it comes to actually like releasing other people's content and stuff, then it gets a bit. I think like that's when you got to, you know, get a hold of the artist themselves, or
Yeah.
find out ways, or. When it comes to us doing mashups on this socials is actually okay, because Mitch is singing, and we're sort of putting it in our own sort of rendition in a way, and it's like a mashup, two songs. But yeah, no, it's interesting when you say about the live thing. It's actually okay.
Plus, you're not making any money from your social media from the mashups either. You know, you're just it's
Yeah, exactly. It's just a thing, just to, you know, we love, you know, doing just other people's songs that we look up to. So, you know, just, and right now it's kind of because we're bored, you know. It's like we want to start touring again and all this, and the boredom's kicking in. So it's like we're going to just be releasing music and mashups and just constantly do this every week, sort of thing. And the best thing about it for us right now is it's kind of like we've just played a show. We chuck out a mashup, and then we get all these new people. Sort of like, it's like we've played a show where we're playing to these new people, and it's like 200 people, you know. And we get all those like sort of people like coming in and following after we release those mashups, and especially releasing new songs as well. I noticed that when we released Fake Love, that we got a lot of followers from that, like, start coming in. So that was great.
That's awesome. And obviously you guys are super active on your social media, and as always, all the social media links will all be in the description, on screen, and everything like that.
That's it, brother.
In terms of drumming, then, anyone that's wanting to start drumming, wanting to get in drumming, do you have any actual sort of last tips for them, how to get into it and how to go forward?
Yeah, man. Yeah, if there was any drummers that want to know anything, I would just say passion, practice, and play. Those three words. If you got those in your head, you can just go a long way. It's just like nonstop passion when you're playing. Practice heaps. Practice, you know, every song that you love or look up to or want to keep listening to, want to play, want to learn. Just get it really down pat. I'm more of a person that's like, I'll listen to the song, know it all off by heart, start playing it, but then I'll like go, okay, how can we make this sort of unique? And then I'll start challenging it in a way where I can be more creative on the song and the drumming, and then put my own sort of spin on the drumming that I look up to. It's kind of like a, you know, and then you start improvising. You can do all this, and that improvising is a great thing to do, because it builds up your own character through drumming.
Yeah.
Where you're not being someone else, you're learning your own way.
Yeah.
Which is what I've sort of gathered over the years. And then, yeah, that's all I can say, man. Passion, practice, play.
Passion, practice, play. That's it. So, would you have any then? Obviously, apart from just the drumming, anything you want to say quickly for any fans of Three, anything that there's listening?
Yeah, well, new song coming out soon. Holding on, get ready. We don't know the release date yet, but that's definitely coming out soon. It's going to be interesting with the music video. We're going to have to be creative on that, me and Mitch. Obviously, because COVID and stuff can't be together, but yeah. So the song coming out, way more other songs coming out after that, and yeah, just non-stop covers at the moment. Hopefully, this COVID dies down, and then we can start touring.
That's it, guys. For this week, if you have any questions, anything about this, go hit Sean up. Follow them on Instagram, like them, go listen to the music, and look out for the new single coming out.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
If you're enjoying the content, guys, please hit like, hit subscribe.
Hit that subscribe button, guys.
And notification bell on. And of course, we have all the clips coming up. If you want to be able to go back, look at any of our old podcasts, we have all the new clips going up. And if you're listening on one of the podcast platforms, be sure to hit follow and leave a review, because again, it does help. We will be back again next week with another podcast. And again, guest announcement will be at the start of the week, and we'll be back then. Anything else from you, Sean?
That's it, brother. Well said. Well said, I can say.
Nice. That's it, guys. Have a good week. Catch you later.
Hello guys, how you doing? It's me, Jack, mate. You've just finished watching probably one of the best videos on YouTube. So why not take a moment to consider subscribing? And if you haven't already, hit the like button and turn the notification bell on. Apparently it helps. I don't know how. It was a good to know, wasn't it?